At this moment, Bonnie realized that this boy was her father. Seeing Kuma crying, Bonnie approached to ask. Suddenly, 3 fierce individuals were aggressively looking for Kuma, which made him frightened, so they captured Kuma. But Kuma still tried to resist, because he couldn't bear it anymore. Seeing Kuma calling for help made Bonnie furious. When she ran to rescue her father, Bonnie couldn't get close to Kuma, while Kuma was already pinned down by them, to force him to somewhere. So, Kuma immediately resisted against them. He would rather die than go to that place. So, Kuma kept getting beaten by them, which deeply hurt Bonnie, but she still couldn't get close to Kuma. It turns out that the celestial dragons want to take Kuma back. Seeing her father being beaten made Bonnie feel very helpless. She didn't want to see anymore. Suddenly, Bonnie was thrown outside, while Kuma was still trying to overcome the red line wall. But the Marines kept attacking him relentlessly because they thought Kuma was trying to reach Mary Joie's. So, they kept firing heavy artillery at Kuma. At this moment, Bonnie realized her father's past was too painful. She didn't dare to face it anymore. But because Bonnie had to know the truth, she still approached Kuma's past once again. While Kuma was still being hindered by the Marines, on the Pythagoras side, he was still searching for Vegapunk, and he still blames Seraphim because they were born here, but they destroyed this place instead. Suddenly, Pythagoras sensed someone behind him, so he was immediately attacked. This surprised Shaka. So, Shaka asked Pythagoras what had happened. On Luffy's side, he also received news from Nami, and she asked Luffy if Vegapunk had returned yet. When Nami found out Vegapunk still hadn't returned, then she told Luffy to watch out for Zoro, not to let him wander around, because they were afraid Zoro would get lost. Suddenly, their connection was cut off, making Nami unable to contact Luffy anymore. At this moment, Shaka was controlling the transponder snails to monitor Pythagoras' situation. Suddenly, he saw someone, so that person also attacked the transponder snail to cut off Shaka's connection. On Luffy's side, they also couldn't contact anyone, so he thought the earpiece was broken. Luffy intended to go find Shaka to ask what happened, but he also reminded Zoro not to wander around. At this point, all the transponder snails on Tier 3 had been destroyed. While Nami's group was also searching for Vegapunk on Tier 3, suddenly, Nami stumbled upon a cabinet full of diamonds, making her very excited. So, Nami immediately gathered all the diamonds into her bag, making Edison furious, because their mission was to search for Vegapunk. If Nami carries that bag, it will be very heavy. So, Nami immediately asked Edison to help her carry it, but he immediately refused. Nami had to leave the bag of diamonds here, and Edison told Nami, these are synthetic diamonds they created, making Nami very excited. While that person is still breaking the transponder snail, Chopper, Robin, and Atlas are searching for Vegapunk on the 2nd floor of Section A. He asked Atlas, why was her face severely injured by Lucci's attack, yet she could recover so quickly? Atlas said it was Vegapunk's technology, allowing them to replace faces as desired. It turns out Vegapunk has also created artificial internal organs, helping to advance medicine in the future, made Chopper very excited. On Sanji's side, he's very excited to be with Stussy, and he remembers meeting Stussy at Big Mom's wedding. Even Sanji wants to be her puppy, but Stussy gently told him to focus on finding Vegapunk, which made Sanji even more intrigued. Jinbei feels that this place is too vast. Stussy said this is the 2nd floor of Section B, where various weapons are developed. At this moment, Shaka is still trying to contact everyone, but he still can't reach them. Suddenly, all the cameras are broken, surprising Luffy. Shaka realizes someone is doing this in the laboratory, while Usopp's group is searching on the 3rd floor, making York sleepy. Usopp is still worried that the world government will come here, so Lilith immediately shows him her weapon. She says with this weapon, she can create bubbles that deflect any attacks, making Usopp and Frankie excited. At this moment, York has seen that the path ahead has been destroyed, surprising them. Usopp thinks that the enemy has arrived here. Suddenly, they saw Pythagoras, so they immediately ran to check on him. Usopp noticed that someone was here. It turns out it was Pythagoras' head. Seeing he's still safe, made them very happy. While they were thinking about who did it, York saw a Seraphim here. She didn't understand why S-Snake came here. While Edison's orders told the Seraphim to stay outside, York found S-Snake very cute. Suddenly, S-Snake used Boa Hancock's ability, and immediately turned York into stone. This surprised Lilith. They didn't understand why S-Snake was here. S-Snake continued to advance towards them. So, Lilith immediately ordered S-Snake to stop. but she didn't obey Lilith's command. This made Lilith wonder why S-Snake wasn't listening to her. Suddenly, S-Snake began to attack them. They became frightened and ran away. Meanwhile, Shaka was also attacked by S-Bear's laser. This surprised Zoro, so he quickly led Lucci and Kaku away. Suddenly, S-Hawk appeared and attacked Zoro. Thus, Zoro immediately fought against him. At this moment, S-Hawk lunged at Lucci and Kaku. Zoro quickly intervened to block S-Hawk's attack. He realized that he was not the target, leaving Zoro disappointed, because he thought their target was him. At this moment, Zoro realized they were trying to eliminate Lucci and Kaku. So, Luffy immediately came to help Zoro. Shaka didn't understand why Seraphim was here, because he felt this was illogical. Luffy and Zoro realized it was time to fight, but Shaka stopped them, because he wanted to try giving orders to the Seraphim, and he asked who had given them their orders. Seeing Seraphim standing silently, Zoro thought that Shaka had managed to stop them. As soon as he sheathed his sword, S-Hawk immediately resumed attacking them. So, Luffy and Zoro quickly pulled Shaka away. Meanwhile, Lilith's group was falling down. She also didn't understand who had given orders to Seraphim. Fortunately, Vegapunk's shoes helped them fly, but Usopp fell headfirst to the ground. At this moment, Lilith realized she couldn't communicate with Shaka, which made them worry, while S-Snake was still looking towards them, making Frankie uncomfortable. So, he wanted to fight S-Snake. But Lilith said they were not S-Snake's match because Seraphim is humanity's strongest product. So, S-Snake jumped down to chase after them. On Luffy and Zoro's side, they managed to evade S-Hawk's attack. Shaka felt the situation was not good, because Seraphim didn't obey his orders. Even their communication devices and defense systems were disabled, causing them to be trapped here. So, he realized someone had planned this beforehand, and his goal was to kill all of them, which surprised Luffy. At this moment, Lucci and Kaku realized they were also targets of Seraphim. So, Kaku proposed to Luffy and Zoro they would temporarily form an alliance. Lucci said, "If you untie my hands, I will be very useful to you." But they were surprised, because both Luffy and Zoro showed suspicion towards them. On the side of the world government agents, they were being held captive on the lower floor. It turns out they had been imprisoned here since 2 months ago, when they were conducting a mission to investigate Egghead, and they were attacked by sea monsters. So, they thought it was Vegapunk's doing. But Vegapunk was also imprisoned here. Therefore, the one who captured them is someone else. At this point, Vegapunk began to suspect that the world government itself was behind this, and they had obtained all the information about Egghead. On the side of the marine battleship, they were still advancing towards Egghead Island. Sentomaru realized that Egghead's fate would be similar to Ohara's, so he immediately ordered everyone to leave this island, which surprised everyone. They didn't understand what was happening. Thus, Sentomaru told them, Ohara was destroyed from this world, because they dared to oppose the world government, even killing all the people on the island. Only Robin survived. Now, the world government wants to destroy Egghead, because their goal is to kill Vegapunk. So, Sentomaru hopes that Luffy will protect Vegapunk, while Luffy and Zoro still suspect Lucci and Kaku, because he doesn't trust them. But, Kaku said after they solve this together, then, they will voluntarily let Zoro tie them up. Surprisingly, Luffy believed them, making Zoro furious, because he knew they were lying to them. Suddenly, S-Hawk continued attacking them. So, Luffy and Zoro quickly dodged. Zoro noticed that S-Hawk's leg had turned into a sword, like Mr. One's Devil Fruit ability. This surprised him, because the Seraphim group is very strong. Now, Luffy asked Zoro, "Have you seen that ability before?" So, Zoro explained to Luffy, "It's the Devil Fruit ability of Mr. One," allowing him to use full-body bladed human. Zoro didn't understand why S-Hawk had this ability, therefore, he will be very difficult to deal with. Suddenly, S-Hawk continued to attack Lucci and Kaku. So, Luffy and Zoro had to protect them. But, S-Hawk was very fast. He continuously transformed his body into a sword to attack Zoro. However, Zoro managed to block it. Suddenly, S-Hawk attacked them with a very powerful strike. So, Zoro and Luffy immediately dodged. This made Luffy furious and he attacked him. But, S-Hawk easily dodged it. Kaku said it would be very difficult if they fought while also protecting them, thus, they needed to cooperate with each other. However, Zoro still didn't want to release their handcuffs. Suddenly, Shaka asked Lucci and Kaku, "What is your mission?" "Our mission is to eliminate all 7 Vegapunk," surprising Kaku, because Lucci had revealed their mission to them. Suddenly, everyone heard Nami scream. Sanji felt that Nami was in danger, so he immediately went to look for Nami. On Nami's side, they encountered S-Shark. This surprised them, because S-Shark didn't obey Edison's orders. This also puzzled him as to why. But the important thing now is that they must find a way to deal with Seraphim, so Edison also didn't know what to do. Suddenly, S-Shark began to attack them. Edison immediately came up with a plan. They had to escape right away. On Lilith's side, they are facing S-Snake, so they are also preparing to fight. Zoro realizes that all 7 Vegapunk are in danger. Suddenly, S-Bear used Kuma's abilities, which surprised Zoro. While Kaku was very worried and told them to listen to him. Luffy asked Shaka to give him the key, thus, he could unlock their handcuffs. Shaka told Luffy, "Help us protect Stella, okay?" So, Luffy agreed right away. At this moment, Luffy admonished Lucci, "After we settle this, don't target my friends just because you can't defeat me." So, Lucci immediately agreed, because the person he most wanted to kill was Luffy. Meanwhile, S-Bear was still compressing the air, thus, he attacked them with a very powerful strike, causing Vegapunk's research facility to explode. Surprisingly, Luffy managed to unlock the handcuffs for Lucci and Kaku in time. So, Luffy immediately used Gear 4. Luffy and Lucci decided to team up to fight S-Bear, while Zoro and Kaku teamed up to fight S-Hawk. They immediately attacked him together, causing S-Hawk to get hit. On Lucci and Luffy's side, they immediately attacked S-Bear with their strongest attacks. So, S-Bear and S-Hawk were both sent flying into the wall. At this moment, on another island in the New World, inside a bar in Elbaf, there's a giant boy who wants to go on an adventure with Shanks. But, Shanks refused him. The boy continued to ask Shanks to take him along, because he believed he would become a very powerful pirate. However, Shanks teased him and refused. Suddenly, Shanks received a notification. An enemy attacked them, which made Shanks' crew very excited. It turned out their enemy was Kid. But, Shank felt very annoyed, because they were about to set sail. So, Shank decided to quickly deal with them. Ben Beckman recognized that Kid wanted to come here to seek revenge on Shank, because he had cut off one of Kid's arms. Seeing Shank preparing for battle, made the giant boy very excited. At this moment, Shank met Dory and Brogy. It turns out they also wanted to fight alongside Shank, which made them very excited. So, the key members of the Red Hair Pirates went to find Kid. And Shank would give Kid 2 choices. It's either fight him, or leave the poneglyph and run. At this moment, Kid is fighting with the crew members of the Red Hair Pirates, which makes him very excited, because they are all notorious pirates. While Shank has arrived at the coastline, making his crew very happy. At this moment, Killer warned Kid. Last time they didn't meet the leader of the Red Hair Pirates, they were defeated. Even Kid lost an arm. So this time, if they lose, they will lose their lives. But, Kid feels very excited, and he still decides to fight Shank. Now, Luffy and Lucci attacked S-Bear together with a very powerful strike, sending him flying into the wall. But, S-Bear still wasn't defeated, so, he immediately shot lasers at them. Meanwhile, Zoro and Kaku were fighting S-Hawk. Luffy and Lucci continuously dodged S-Bear's lasers, and they continued to attack him together. Meanwhile, Zoro and Kaku were also dodging S-Hawk's attacks. So, Kaku immediately counterattacked him. Zoro also swiftly attacked S-Hawk, causing him to fall to the ground. At this moment, Luffy and Lucci punched S-Bear with great force together, sending him flying away. Shaka saw that everyone was exhausted. They thought that these 2 Seraphim wouldn't be able to get up anymore. Shaka immediately told them, "Seraphim are the strongest form of humans, so, we can't underestimate them." Suddenly, S-Bear and S-Hawk immediately got up. Surprising Luffy's group, they didn't understand how the Seraphim could continue to get up. Zoro remembered the battle with King in Wano, who also had flames on his back similar to the Seraphim. Shaka explained that his name was Albur, a member of the Lunarian tribe. Previously, Albur was an experiment subject on Punk Hazard, but he was saved by Kaido. It turns out Kaido discovered that Albur was a member of the Lunarian tribe, and Albur had endurance far beyond ordinary people. After Kaido rescued Albur from the laboratory, he then changed his name to King. Shaka said that all Seraphim are created from the bloodline of the Lunarian tribe. So, Zoro warned Luffy's group, they must be careful of the flames on the backs of the Seraphim. Their attacks will only be effective when the flames are extinguished. While the flames are burning, they are invincible. At this moment, Zoro remembered his battle with King. He had a tough time fighting him. But, Luffy's group immediately blamed Zoro, because he didn't tell them about this earlier. Suddenly, Shaka left, because he had guessed Vegapunk's location, but S-Hawk immediately attacked Shaka. So, Zoro quickly intercepted the attack to help him, and Shaka asked them to handle things here. On Nami's side, they were still being chased by S-Shark. Suddenly, Brook saw that S-Shark had disappeared, but he immediately reappeared in front of them, and he punched Edison, sending him flying into the wall, making Nami and Brook worried. As S-Shark prepared to attack them, Brook immediately stepped forward to block him, but he was defeated by S-Shark, making Nami worried. She saw that S-Shark resembled Jimbei a lot, and he seemed like a child, so Nami couldn't attack him. Zeus immediately told Nami to calm down, because he wasn't Jimbei. Zeus said, "I'm your ally, we will fight together." Thanks to that, Nami calmed down, so Nami immediately ran to attack S-Shark. She reassured herself that he wasn't a child, because he was just a killing machine. Then, Nami threw Zeus at S-Shark, causing S-Shark to be electrocuted. Suddenly, Brook saw him fall to the ground, so he quickly reattached his head to support Nami, but S-Shark reappeared in front of Nami, surprising Zeus, because his attack had no effect, so Nami was caught by S-Shark. Luckily, Sanji appeared just in time, and he immediately kicked S-Shark with a very powerful strike, sending him flying away. Luckily, Nami wasn't injured, but S-Shark still got up after that attack, which amused Sanji. On Lilith's side, her group is facing off against S-Snake, so Lilith uses Bubble Gun to attack her. However, S-Snake easily blocked the bubble. Unexpectedly, S-Snake immediately collapsed. It turns out Lilith's bubble gun contains the energy of the sea, so it can counter those who use devil fruits. Usopp and Frankie thought they had won. Thus, he immediately tried to tie up S-Snake. Unexpectedly, S-Snake immediately attacked Frankie. Lilith realized the bubble only grazed her arm, so it wasn't very effective, while S-Snake was very angry, and she immediately fired a laser at them. Suddenly, Frankie appeared behind S-Snake, and he used a bubble to pin S-Snake to the ground, making S-Snake weaken and unable to move. Suddenly, S-Snake cried out and said, "I hurt so much," so Frankie immediately took out the bubble. Unexpectedly, he was instantly turned to stone by S-Snake, making Usopp worried. Lilith continuously shot bubbles at S-Snake, but she managed to dodge them, and S-Snake immediately used his cuteness, mesmerizing Lilith and Usopp, and they were turned to stone by S-Snake. Thus, S-Snake defeated Lilith's group. At this time, Shaka is searching for Vegapunk in the lower room. Suddenly, he saw that there were a lot of cipher poles imprisoned here. It surprised him. And he also saw Vegapunk, so Shaka immediately asked who had captured him. Seeing Shaka made Vegapunk relieved. When Shaka was about to release Vegapunk, he was immediately shot, causing Shaka to fall down, so the cipher poles also lost all hope. Suddenly, the one who shot Shaka began to descend, immediately surprising Vegapunk. The video ends here today. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the next videos. Thank you for watching. Love you all.